We're back here at Macclesfield. Delighted to be joined now by Danny Elliott. Danny, thank you for joining us. So of course, Danny is the kind of star forward here at Macclesfield. I appreciate you making the time. So tell us a bit about your time here at Macclesfield. How long have you been here?
I signed here at the start of last season.
Okay.
Came in from Scunthorpe.
Yeah.
Could tell it was a brilliant setup straight away, but didn't really know any of the players. And took to it really well. We had a great season last year, won the league.
Yeah.
I scored a lot of goals and obviously been promoted. So we're in a new league now. Obviously we had some changes in the summer.
Yeah.
New manager, some new players and things, and we're kind of finding our feet in this league now. We've had a fair start, some wins, some losses, but we're mid-table, and the feeling's good. Yeah, we're doing well.
Good. And you mentioned lots of goals last season. Of course, you come to a new club. That helps, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was the lowest level I'd played in my career, and I think I was brought in as a bit of a kind of marquee signing. Robbie Savage, the manager at the time, was his first signing, so I think there was a bit of pressure on me to do well. I put pressure on myself. Yeah. Probably had a bit of a slow start, but then got going eventually and ended up finishing the season with 41 goals. So I was really happy.
Good man. And you mentioned that pressure. What was it like, that kind of media attention, particularly with Robbie being here last season?
I think there was a lot of pressure. But it was exciting, obviously because we were winning games. We were the first team in the country to win the league at all levels. We won it by 26 points. We smashed loads of records, and obviously there was a documentary recorded throughout the season as well. So it was a really exciting time. Obviously it was really good to just be a part of it and be involved every week and scoring goals and doing what I love to do. So it was brilliant. It was a good pressure. It was really good. Yeah. We were thriving off it, I think, and the team was just gelling so well.
Fantastic. And you mentioned kind of Robbie and the new manager. Of course, you played with John last season, and now he's the manager. And of course, we get that in business as well. You can work alongside somebody, and then roles change, and that dynamic changes. So when you're a player, you're playing with somebody, and the next season they're the manager. How does that kind of change the dynamic between you? Does he now ignore you in the corridor, or is it just how it was?
Do you know what? I was literally just speaking to one of the lads this morning, and I was saying that when he plays now in training, it's like the manager's playing.
Yeah.
When he first became the manager, it felt like he was one of the players that was being the manager, and now I think everyone's very much got used to him being the manager. Obviously we call him Gaffer. A lot of the new lads have obviously only known him as the manager. But I think it was a kind of seamless transition because he was such an experienced player and an older player that had played at higher levels and done really well. A lot of the lads respected his opinion a lot anyway. Yeah. And then transitioning into being a manager, I wouldn't say it was seamless, but it was very easy in terms of everyone respected him. I think he respected us as well. And everyone trusted him straight away, and obviously I think a good start in terms of winning on the first day and things like that definitely helped settle things down a bit. And I'm sure it was a lot of pressure on him going into that as well, but I think he stepped into it really well.
Yeah, fantastic. We spoke to Bob earlier, of course, and kind of Bob said similar. When you're a senior figure in a team, sometimes it's not that big a step up when you take that next role, is it? You're going really from the kind of peak of one role to taking on another role.
Yeah.
And so talking to Bob, of course, we talked a lot about the commercial side of Macclesfield. How much does that impact kind of what you do on a pitch on a Saturday? That commercial side of things, how aware of that are you? And does that kind of impact and kind of put more pressure on how you play?
I mean, I've been at 9 clubs in 6 years, I think, before I came to Macclesfield. So 9 in 7.5 now, whatever it is. And I've never seen a club like it. I think the way Macclesfield do things is brilliant. I wasn't here obviously before the reformation, but I played against Macclesfield Town. But I think from what I've seen and what I've heard speaking to people around the club, I think obviously the last few years has allowed the club to kind of restructure things, the way they do things, the way the commercial side does things. It seems like such an exciting, such a stable, such a community club that everyone wants to be a part of. Some really exciting people involved in the club. Last year coming into it and seeing the amount of different sponsors, you know, it's helped me massively in terms of growing my business. The help that I've got from different investors and different sponsors and the people that you meet. It's like a networking event when you come to a game on a Saturday. And you know, the sponsors that we got with different clothing brands and things like that. And it's just a brilliant club to be a part of. I love it here. And a lot of clubs are run very differently. You know, a lot of clubs are run a lot more kind of old school, where you don't necessarily know. You don't know the faces of, or really the names of the directors or the investors, the owners, all that type of thing. So I think it's such a good club to be at. For me, you know, even in my kind of later years of my career, I'm only 29, but hopefully I've got a while left. But I think a lot of the younger lads as well, you know, it makes you think about other sides to life and other sides to the game, because you're exposed to all that, and it's such a good opportunity to meet different people that can help you in different ways.
And you mentioned there that you're not just a footballer, you've got your business as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
So let's take you on a short journey.
Please.
I was let go from Nottingham Forest when I was 18. Went to New York on a football scholarship, like a university scholarship. So I was out there playing football and studying economics. My parents had always kind of pushed me down the education route a little bit, so I always kind of had one eye on other things. And you know, I was 22 years old, got my degree in economics, and didn't really think that I was going to be a footballer at all. Went to Spain, was working in a call centre, playing football there, and then got a trial at Port Vale, so flew back. They signed me on the first day of the trial, and then I'd gone within a week from working night shifts in a call centre to playing in League Two. They signed me on £250 a week, which was pretty much paying my petrol money to get up to Stoke from Nottingham every week. But you know, I was happy, playing with a smile on my face and living the dream. And I saw a lot of players that, because footballers get used to what they do, were moaning about different things. And I saw some of the money that the lads were on, and thought, you know, if I ever earn that kind of money, not crazy money, but if I ever earn that kind of money, or money where I'm able to put a bit of money aside, I will do, because I saw the way lads were gambling and spending it on nights out and cars and clothes and living to their means. I thought, because I'd kind of had that economics background a little bit, I kind of thought this is something that I want to focus on if I get to that point, hopefully. And then during the pandemic, saved quite a bit of money just because I wasn't spending it for a while. Somebody introduced me to property, kind of type of person I am. I went and did a load of research and viewed 25, 30 houses and thought, this is what I want to get stuck into, and bought a buy-to-let property. Thought this is a good idea, I'm kind of making money. Saved up, bought another one, and got to a point where I got 4. And again, having had 9 clubs in 6 years, I've been going to lots of different football clubs over these 3 or 4 year period, and you know, be in the changing rooms, speaking to lads, or be on the phone with a solicitor, mortgage advisor, and a lot of players would ask me about it, and I'd kind of help them and advise them and tell them why I was doing it. And I ended up helping a few teammates into property, explaining it to them, and I realised that there was quite a lot of lads similar position to me that might have 40 grand sat in the bank and didn't have a clue what to do with it. They'd never had that, their parents had never helped them, agents, etc. weren't helping them, and a lot of the lads didn't want to buy houses to live in, because at the National League, League 2 level, you might be playing for Gateshead and you get a move to Yeovil, and you don't want to have to deal with a mortgage, etc, etc. You want to be able to up and leave quickly. So again, I'd kind of helped a few people, and it kind of worked in time with signing with Macclesfield. The structure of our training sessions is a Tuesday and a Thursday morning. So I thought I'd got a bit more time, and this would be a prime opportunity to set up my business. So I started the business, called it Footballers Property Group, and it's in essence service providing for footballers. So they'll come to us with money to invest in property. They don't know much about it, and we kind of hold their hand through the process. So it's finding them a property, it's getting it at a good price, dealing with the solicitor, the mortgage advisor, dealing with any work that needs doing on the property, and getting an investment for them so that they've got that kind of in their back pocket for life after football. So it's helping footballers put money into something that's a good investment for life after football, rather than putting it into nights out and cars and clothes and things like that. So it's gone really, really well so far, and I think that kind of naturally, having had so many football clubs around the country, I've built up a good network of ex-teammates that hopefully speak well of me. So it's gone really well. As I say, we've just gone past our first year, which was in August. You know, I've made some brilliant connections, even through the football club. You know, just from speaking to the different investors and sponsors and things. There's so many different people that have helped me with various things. Been able to put on different networking events in Manchester. You know, Bob kindly let me have an advertising board around the ground. and so many different things that I've been able to get a leg up with my business through the football club, which you wouldn't get at other football clubs.
Now, of course, the business is very important to you, kind of setting yourself up after your career. You mentioned the same word quite a few times, helping people. How important is it to, for not just be your business, but you're actually kind of helping your fellow professionals? Yeah,
I think that one thing that I've tried to do with the business is kind of, the business is my story, if you know what I mean. It kind of grew organically, I don't like to use that word, but in terms of naturally it's something that I'm interested in. I think a lot of footballers struggle to find something that they're interested in apart from football. And I think that it's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that has helped me in my life, and it's something that I wouldn't have known about unless somebody was willing to help me and push me into that. So I think that trying to do the same thing and trying to help people make smart financial decisions, and obviously a lot of people helping me. So I think that it's something that's important to me. I think it's something that is positive in terms of your levels around what I've played. You know, players are earning good money, but they're not earning enough money that they can build up a load in the bank and live off it for the rest of their life. You know, it's important that they make smart decisions. But I think there's a gap in terms of the help and advice that people get around this age, because the turnover of players is so quick in teams, because you know, the agents aren't making that much money, so the agents are only really concerned with the players' moves rather than extra things.
Right, okay.
I think that a lot of players aren't necessarily getting that assistance, so that's kind of where I'm hopefully can step in. And a lot of the clients that I've had are ex-teammates, or we've got a mutual friend. You know, they're not really strangers, because I've got so many contacts. But also I think that gives it kind of a good authenticity in terms of the fact that, as I say, people hopefully speak well of me and we do a good job for people.
As you say, what's really fascinating there is the journey you've been on. As you say, kind of you know, the different clubs you've been at, going to the States, going to Spain. It sounds like, rather than being a negative, that's actually been quite formative for you. That's kind of made you the man you are today, and has helped you kind of create this business. And it's the people you've met along the way are what's helped that business be successful, right? Yeah,
definitely. I think that, you know, at the time when, you know, I was released from Nottingham Forest at 18, it's the worst thing in the world. And then I was hoping to actually play professionally in America at the time, got a knee injury, and you end up having to come back. And all these things that happen, and these challenges and different changes that you face, ultimately I wouldn't have got to where I was now. Even having had so many football clubs in England, you know, you're released from some, you're getting moves from others. You know, as a striker, you're either scoring goals and teams want you, or you're not and teams want you gone. So it's kind of constantly chopping and changing. But I think at Macclesfield, I found somewhere that I'm comfortable, somewhere that I'd like to be for a while. You know, somewhere that feels like home. You know, it's the first time I've moved. As I say, I've been up in the northeast at Gateshead and Hartlepool. I've been down in London playing for Boreham Wood. Been out at Chester on the west coast, Boston on the east coast. I've been everywhere, and this is the first time I've moved with somebody. You know, me and my fiance have moved up here. She's found a home in Manchester. We're both from Nottingham, so it's somewhere that I feel comfortable, somewhere that I've made some really, really good connections, and you know, it's just a brilliant club. You know, I've got my 30th birthday party next week. I'm hosting it at the club.
Fantastic.
You know, because it's such a place that I feel really comfortable. You know, I love the staff here. You know, the people off the pitch in the background do so much for the club, so much behind the scenes. It's just brilliant people. So I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there. But,
it's okay, we love it. One kind of final question. Of course, you're a you know, a bright guy. You've got your career, you've got your business. What are you planning to do after football, if you don't mind me asking? Are you thinking, not the after football, but you're thinking coaching, or is your business, is that what you've got your eye on in the future? Are you looking at John and thinking, yeah, I fancy a bit of that, or are you a businessman after this?
I think for me, I always kind of, as I say, I didn't necessarily think I was going to be a footballer all the time. I think a lot of footballers have always had football as number one. And I've always loved football. It's always been my main love. But I think I always kind of had one eye on other things, and I always had a bit of a plan B. Ultimately, I think there's more to life than football. I don't know if I'd like to spend kind of 50, 60 years of my life in a football changing room. Because I think there's kind of more of the world, and I think that for the sake of my fiance and my family, that I'm hopefully going to have children and stuff, I'd like to get my weekends back a little bit. So I think I'd like to go into something else. You know, I think it's important to always remember the the strengths that football gives you. You know, the drive, the commitment, the focus, all those things that you learn in football and in a changing room that a lot of other people don't have. And I think that having had years in football, that can benefit you, even in terms of like, even doing the footballers property group, you know, it's a niche that I've got that other people don't have, but it's not necessarily in a football changing room. But I think at the minute, you know, it may change in the next few years and I may leave football and decide I want to go back into it. But I think that at the minute, where my mindset is now, I don't know if I have kind of a thirst to be a coach or a physio or anything like that. But we'll see. You know, I think that for me, once I hang up my boots, I'll come and sit in the crowd rather than be on the sidelines.
I don't blame you. Daddy, you know, really appreciate your time today. You know, kind of best of luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Best of luck with the business.
Thank you very much.
I'll leave you today.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.